And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. We finally returned. I'm back from Florida, so we're finally able to do some shows again. Yeah, maybe a nice little clap back from Florida. We were going to do a show, but then we figured it was just easier with setting up the equipment and everything to wait until I got back. Joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler from the University of Virginia. We had the best producer in the game, Zach Bloomquist, with us. Andrew Keenan is finishing up finals right now. So
I am too. No excuses.
Yeah, no, I know.
No excuses.
But come on. When we're talking about top-tier players.
Yeah, but Jack, did you watch Tangled?
I've seen Tangled. Tangled's a great movie.
Tangled's great.
I'm just saying.
I was upset by his response saying it was subpar.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, we had our Disney movie draft. It's out officially on our last podcast, but the reel's coming out hopefully tomorrow or the next day, but or Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. I took Tangled with one of the picks, which I do believe was probably a bad pick in hindsight. However, the movie itself, it is a horrendous pick, but in the movie itself, very, very good. Andrew had never seen it, and he said subpar, which was very. I did not agree with that at all.
Subpar is a low score. I mean, I'd give it like a 6.57, which is
Flynn Rider,
which is much better than average.
I think the horse is hysterical. Rapunzel's a good female character. Like, there's a lot to like about Tangled. If you haven't watched it, go take a look. Remember, please follow, like, comment, subscribe. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You're probably watching this on YouTube. Please give us that subscribe.
If you're a girl, don't forget to DM us.
If you're a girl.
Most of us are single.
Our individual accounts, too.
Yeah.
Individual accounts.
Maybe DM us on the Paul Farrington Show and just say who you want.
Wow, yeah, that's a good sell right there. Look at the Taylor Swift TikTok. That's about the most female content that we've had, and are probably more views than anything we've had combined.
We're almost at 200K.
Oh yeah.
The NFL schedule release that's coming out this Thursday. We'll react to that. Black Friday.
Oh, we're doing a schedule.
We're not doing like a react. I mean, like
no.
I mean, like we'll break down team schedules. We'll predict seasons and stuff like that.
I think we should react to all the because
I love the schedule. I think the schedule
release is the dumbest thing in the NFL.
Ziggy, I think
we already know every single team they're playing.
Yeah, but not the order.
What does the order matter? They're playing
times.
the same number of games.
We don't know that. I think we project, Ziggy, before the schedule comes out, like what games will be what time. Like, oh, Texans Colts 1:00.
See, I suggested this, and everyone said that was crazy.
Which one did you say?
I suggested we do this.
Yeah, but you said Jets Chiefs scream 4:25. No,
he said it screamed 1.
Oh yeah, I know. No,
I was just messing with Andrew. He bit too.
I think you know what we should do is all the teams now do like a video.
I think we do predictions.
No. Like teams make like an actual video.
Oh, yes, they do.
Schedule.
Yes.
And I think reacting to that could be fun.
We could react to those. Those would be fun.
One of my friends did one of those back in the day. She drew the Tennessee Titans one.
That's pretty cool. How'd it go?
Did well, and they never hired her to do anything again.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft today because we didn't have that reaction show last week. The Philadelphia Eagles, their team we're going to talk about first. We also will have the Lions, Anthony Richardson, the Colts, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, big moves for the Texans. But as I said before, let's open up with Philly. It was very frustrating for me. As someone who strongly dislikes, I don't want to say hates, but strongly dislikes the Eagles, to see Jalen Carter just fall down that board right into their laps when they trade up with Chicago at 9. And then later on in the evening, Nolan Smith, again, a very highly rated defender throughout the entire pre-draft process, slowly falling down the board until at 30. Of course the Eagles take him. Keely Ringo as well, the Georgia cornerback. I know there are issues. I know he didn't play particularly well this past season, but this was a guy who a lot of people thought would be a first-round pick at one point.
The steal of the draft.
Tons of promise, and he comes in. He's in a situation where he's with James Bradbury, another large corner to learn from. Darius Slay's a great leader. He's part of my company, the Volumes Network. Just an awesome dude. I love what Philly's doing. Every single move they make, it seems to be. And they got DeAndre Swift, too. They're loading up on the Georgia Bulldogs, loading up on national championship winners, and tons of talent. It's annoying to watch, but they're doing exactly what you would want them to do as a fan.
I think it's a fantastic strategy. I mean, you already have this superstar offense right now. Now, why not take a bunch of dudes, a bunch of ballers from the same team who have played together, won a championship together? Now that's your defense.
And they just attack the quarterback over and over and waves.
Now they have they have like 6 Georgia Bulldogs. It's incredible.
But the way people are talking about this Eagles team, it's like they can do no wrong. I mean, look, here's what happened, right? They got spooked and traded up for a guy with character concerns. A lot of talent there, don't get me wrong. But there's a reason all these teams ahead of him that could have used a defensive tackle passed. They traded up for no reason. And then people are talking about...
He is fantastic.
We're talking about the number 1 rated prospect in the draft for a lot of people.
But for a lot of people, except the people that actually know the most. Like, look, there's a reason that NFL teams, a lot of them who needed this guy, passed on. Right? There were a lot of teams that could have traded up with the Bears. There were a lot of teams that had need for a guy like him, and they all passed. People talk about Keely Ringo falling. What? Every team in the NFL passed on him at least twice. Most teams 3, 4, even 5 times.
Yeah, I kind of think that's a mistake.
That's why
well, but this is the thing. This is
the Super Bowl.
This is what's ridiculous, right? People always talk about draft steals, but there's no such thing as a draft steal. You can go back and look at the guys who everyone thought was going to be great, and they fell in the draft. They don't perform better than anyone else drafted.
So with Jalen Carter, is the main thing for you the character concerns, or is there something about the way he plays that you think is the reason that he fell?
I mean, the thing that I worry about with Jalen Carter is he's never played more than 400 snaps in a season, right? This is the thing you always have to worry about, guys that haven't been able to stay on the field during college. And I get that Georgia rotates defensive linemen. It was the same thing with several of other guys they've had coming out of the draft. But a lot of the thought that he's going to be able to come in and be like an immediate pass rusher and impact the NFL, it's all projection. He's never done it before.
When he was on
the field, he was fantastic.
Nolan Smith too. I just was checking out some of his stats before the show today. He ran a 4.39 40. I believe it was the first ever sub 4.4 40 for a defensive end or an edge rusher. Like these guys are monster athletes from Georgia. They're like you said, they're ballers. I like it.
They're national champions.
I like it. Again, Ziggy, there is a reason that they fall, and sometimes when it works out, the Eagles might look like geniuses. But there are situations where, yes, very talented people or allegedly very talented people do fall, and they don't. So only time will tell with that. I wanted to weren't people
freaking out about how Jordan Davis was going to be an immediate impact player for them last year?
He was very good.
You know how many sacks he got?
But did you see the run statistics?
He's a D tackle.
He got 18 tackles. What do you mean the run statistics?
Look at the run stats when he was on the field versus off the field for Philly.
He got 18 tackles. He was barely on the field for that.
I don't remember what the numbers were.
Tackles is a meaningless stat in your eyes.
It's different when you're talking about middle linebackers.
No, Ziggy, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what the numbers are, but when Jordan Davis was on versus off the field last season, he made a significant contribution to Philly's run defense. He was absolutely an impact player for that team last year.
He was also hurt for half the season.
No, that's what it was. When he was out, they started getting gouged a little bit more. But
stunning development. A player who doesn't play a lot of snaps in college and has difficulty staying on the field gets hurt in the NFL. More in the evening news at 9 o'clock.
I'll take that over the impact argument. But yeah, so again, Philadelphia.
I think it was a great draft.
I'm all in on it. Ziggy's not. We'll have to see what happens. The Houston Texans. This was a team that we talked about a lot because you know what? The national media doesn't really cover the Texans that much.
Why would they?
Well, why would they? But we took it upon ourselves on the Paul Farrington show to do that. At number 2, they go CJ Stroud, which I believe is what we all agreed probably would happen. Jack, I know that you didn't think it should.
Well, I wanted Will, but they
wanted Will. So let's talk about Stroud first. He comes in. It's honestly a tough situation for a young quarterback. Their receivers, Robert Woods is the leading receiver in that unit, with Nico Collins and John Mechie. John Mechie could be a fun wild card to watch this year. He's coming back from cancer, so obviously a lot going on with him physically and probably mentally as well. But
he's a wild card.
He could be very good. Damian Pierce, good running back. We'll see how that offense goes. I see some tough times for CJ Stroud in his rookie season. After that, though, you'd think okay, they got their guy. We'll see them again at 12. Massive trade up with the Cardinals. Here's the terms of the trade. Houston gave up 12, 33, and a 4th rounder, and next year's 1st rounder, their own, and next year's 3rd to get Will Anderson and a 4th rounder this season. Big trade, but they get a big player. You like it?
I liked the names and the players that they got this year. I was big on Will Anderson. I've always been the guy who says, all right, let's take the best defensive player on the board. I think defense is huge. Obviously, the Texans do too. They got who they hope to be their future quarterback. However, I cannot say I'm the biggest fan of the deal. I think it's a lot to give up.
It is a lot.
Because for a team who's going to be rebuilding for the next couple of years, you want those 1st round picks. So if you go and you take CJ Stroud, okay, here's our quarterback. We don't necessarily need Will Anderson. We can keep our first round pick next year.
But if he's as good as you thought he was going to be, like you said, you might take him number 1 overall, right?
Yes.
Is that worth?
I don't think it was worth giving up as many picks as they did. I think it was a lot. For a team who's going to be rebuilding for a long time, it was a lot to give up.
And a lot of holes on that roster.
Yeah, it was a lot to give up.
Ziggy, how about you? Did you like it?
I thought it was one of the worst draft day trades we've seen in the decade. I thought it was a horrendous trade. And here's why.
I don't think it was that bad. But
here's why, right? The reason this trade was made was straightforward. The front office didn't want to take a quarterback. The owner said, we're taking a quarterback. So the only way to do that is to take both Will Anderson and CJ Stroud because the front office wasn't willing to let him go. But look, this is like classic overconfidence and thinking you've got your guy, so he's going to hit. Among edge rushers taken in the first round in the past 10 years, only half of them have had their first year option picked up. Make it a little bit better because he went to the top of the first round, say it's 60, 65%, but this team's not going to be good.
No.
Right? By like projected win rates in Vegas, they're expected to have a top 3 pick next year. So is Will Anderson good enough to be worth 2 top 3 picks? And are you so confident CJ Stroud's going to hit that you're willing to give up the chance to take a guy like Caleb Williams if things don't work out? I don't see why you're doing this.
If they end up being the worst team in the league, I agree that it's a horrible trade. If you lose Caleb Williams because of it, yes.
If they make the playoffs, it's a bad trade.
Well, that's
if you are a team that like variance wise has a chance to be really bad, even if you don't, giving up future firsts because you're really, really confident if your guy is foolish. Well, that's these NFL GMs don't consistently hit.
That's what I like personally. I agree with Ziggy there. Is I think that even with Stroud, let's say you don't take Will Anderson, right? Even with CJ Stroud this year, you will probably still be one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah.
And so it's a quarterback heavy draft. Even if you're picking 5 next year, a lot of good quarterbacks, you could even get trade value there.
Yeah, it's tough to give up so many picks when you're trying to rebuild for several years.
Here's what I'll say, though. Over the past 3 seasons...
They got 2 studs. They got 2 studs.
They do.
They got 2
Over
studs.
the past 3 years, the Texans have won 11 games. That entire franchise, the fan base, everyone, they have been horrible for 3 straight years. And the one thing that I told them to do, if I were a Texans fan, I wanted them to be aggressive. I wanted them to go get Stroud and start the future with the quarterback. And then you come back and get Anderson, who before the season was a Heisman candidate. He's one of the best. He was one of the most highly touted college defenders of the past 10 years or something like that.
I love him.
So I have no problem with them being aggressive. It's a lot to give up. It really is a lot. But for the first time ever, you saw Texans fans online saying, this is the greatest day ever to be a Texan fan. For the first time ever, you saw some confidence and some hope. And I'm okay going and getting a guy. If he's a monster, like a lot of people think he can be, you're going to look back and say, all right, you know what? Yeah, we gave up a first round pick, but we got 2 guys who can go out and ball. And there's, for the first time in a long time, some hope in Houston. So I'm okay with it. I know it's a lot, but I'm okay with it.
If it pans out like they... Oh, sorry, you guys.
I was going to say, to be clear, Paul, you're absolutely right. This is why Nick Caserio made the trade, because he's getting fired if they don't have results next year. So the future first means nothing to him, right? He's just trying to keep his job and get another impact player. But
I don't know. I don't know about it. Like maybe when you start with a new quarterback, sometimes that can extend you a little bit. And I do love your rumor about, or that little rumor you threw in there about the conflicting.
Well, all I'm saying is this: is about 3 hours before the draft, Will Anderson was the heavy favorite. Then suddenly, over the course of like 5 minutes, that odds go to minus 2,000 CJ Stroud. Then the front office makes this really aggressive trade. We all know what happens. All
right,
if things do pan out like they want them to with these 2 picks, though, we're sitting here in 3 or 4 years like, wow, like they got their quarterback and the captain of their defense.
Yeah.
So it's a roll of the dice, but I don't think it's a terrible.
If Will Anderson turns out to be someone like a TJ Watt or a Micah Parsons, and I know that these guys are, the best in the league, but if you wind up getting something like that, which I'm assuming that they believe he will turn out to be,
of course,
then you're happy with this. All right, let's talk about the Colts. Anthony Richardson goes to Indianapolis at 4th overall. Ziggy, you must have been thrilled with this pick because, as you said, if you weren't taking Richardson 1, you were doing something wrong.
Well, not only that, right? I'm thrilled for Anthony Richardson too, because you think about like what kind of situation do you want him to go into? who's like the comp that we're thinking? Well, look, what's he going to be good at early in his career? Well, it's going to be like running quick RPOs.
Hurts the Sirianni.
Offenses. Exactly. Yeah. He's getting, he just gets to run the Jalen Hurts offense out in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they got Shane Steichen out there.
I think that was an awesome pick for them.
So, like, you're getting a player who fits really well into what you're trying to do, right? The Colts aren't historically high spenders, but at least they've got a wide receiver. They've got a decent enough offensive line that they're hoping rebounds this year. They've got a functional defense. Like, this is not a bad situation for him to be in at all.
No, and I think yes, that's exactly what you said before the draft. Is there's a few teams that can draft Anthony Richardson. Seattle was one of them, and Indianapolis was another, where he can come in and he has an opportunity to succeed. Look at some of the weapons for the other quarterbacks. We just went through C.J. Stroud. His number one receiver is Robert Woods. Bryce Young has Adam Thielen. I believe he's the number one in Carolina at the moment. Will Levis is Treylon Burks. These other quarterbacks are not coming into situations where you have Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. Like those two guys are by far the best weapons out of everyone else. What?
And University of Virginia legend Jelani Woods.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
no, he's going to have a crazy year next year. Take him in your dynasty leagues. Take him in your free draft leagues. I'm feeling Jelani.
So there are still problems in Indy, though. The offensive line, they're heavily invested in it, but it's been a little leaky. You know, Richardson has mobility. I do agree with you guys, though, overall. The system that he finds himself in with Shane Steichen, and we saw the revolution for Jalen Hurts from 2 seasons ago to this past year. I like it for Richardson.
Yeah, I was going back and forth for a long time on how I viewed Anthony Richardson. Athletic. He's got a strong arm. I've seen flashes. I've seen some good things. But I've seen some poor things as well. And then I thought back to myself, you know what? Like he reminded me a lot of what I thought of Jalen Hurts coming out of college. I wasn't super high in Hurts out of Oklahoma. I'm like, he's a good college quarterback. He's an athlete. He's got a good arm. He can move. But he's not an NFL quarterback. And I was so wrong.
Oh, even his rookie year, you're watching him and you're like, eh.
Yeah. But I see AR like I see Jalen Hurts. And now with Sirianni, with Indy, with Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, it's a good spot.
And it is a risky pick because it comes down to ultimately the 4th pick in the draft. That's a high pick to take any player.
He's got to be your guy, yeah.
It's a commitment. But look at the Colts' past 4 seasons since Andrew Luck. It was 2019, Brissett and Hoyer. In 2020, Phillip Rivers. 2021, Carson Wentz. Last year, Matt Ryan, Ellinger, and Nick Foles. It's just been a revolving door of failure for Indianapolis. Year after year after year. This is the first time now where Colts fans can look at this situation and say, we have hope, we have some excitement. Sure, it's a risk, but if this pays off the way we're hoping for, the way Anthony Richardson's been hyped up, it can be very exciting. And the AFC South right now, there's a lot of hope in that division.
Yeah,
it's been horrible for so long, but it's an exciting time.
I mean, the Colts, you can argue, the second best team in the division.
Yeah, you can argue.
I don't think you have to argue. I think they just are. The Titans are trying to implode. The Texans are terrible.
I love that. I love the Titans are trying to implode.
Well, I was going back and forth, Colts or Titans, but it's probably as the Colts.
Was Richardson the right pick over Levis for you, Jack?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I was done with Levis when he was a 20-point home favorite against Vandy, had 100 yards passing. That was offense.
Oh, and this is the thing, right? You talk to someone who watched SEC football. Neither Levis nor Richardson were like great passing quarterbacks, but Will Levis didn't scare you at all. Right? You don't have to game plan around him. Anthony Richardson, you still have to plan around because once in a while, he can throw those deep passes, he can run. And sure enough, I mean, the NFL showed us they didn't believe in Will Levis at all.
Look,
crazy though that
the difference is the games that I watched this year, you know, Will Levis when he hosted Vandy, when he hosted Mississippi State, just nothing. And then AR, he's lighting up Tennessee. He's lighting up Utah.
Lighting up Tennessee, not exactly a big accomplishment.
Well, I mean, look, when Tennessee's hanging 45 and you're on the road in that atmosphere and you're playing a close game as a 10-point dog, that's a good. I'm impressed by that, like for sure. Like he's
Levis taking a step back this season with all the hype around him. It just was deflating. At least I believe that was a huge reason he fell back. Was again, there's a lot of issues with his passing and stuff. The one thing I said throughout this whole process was, I don't like having a concern for my quarterback being their ability to throw, which both Levis and Richardson have. So there's definitely risk involved with any of these picks. But between the two guys, if you're going to take one of them, take the guy with the unlimited ceiling in Richardson. So I'm fine with it from Indianapolis. It's a risk, but again, you've sucked for 4 years in a row.
And, honestly, most draft picks with kids who have only played football in college are a risk anyway. Yeah. So I think it's a good pick.
I just had one question, which is: has there ever been a time when like 3 of the top 4 quarterbacks in a draft went to the same division?
That's what I was thinking about. Well, hold on. We had 3 of the top 4. Yeah, no, I thought you meant 3 of the top 4 overall picks.
Oh yeah, true.
No, it's that's what's kind of fun about it. And Trevor Lawrence, also a super young guy. That division is just loaded with young talent.
If you look at the history, if you look at the history, there's basically a guarantee one of these guys is going to hit and one of these guys is going to bust. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out because these are teams that all have like a really invested stake in the other quarterbacks failing. So I don't know, if Anthony Richardson goes crazy and CJ Stroud sucks, boy, there's going to be some mad Texans fans because they're going to have to watch Richardson win the division.
And I don't mind the Tennessee pick of Levis in the second round. I thought that was fine.
Oh,
if you took him early, I didn't like it. But second round, I thought that was fine. The mayo and coffee thing is the only thing that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Other than that, though, for a second round quarterback.
It was his favorite pick.
Yeah, Levis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he was he was in perfect spot.
In the perfect spot.
Yeah,
so I think we're.
No, I mean, look, he's got some arm talent. He's a quarterback. If there's a 30% chance he turns into like an above average starter, that's one of the best picks in the draft.
Yeah,
I mean, I will defend my guy Will Levis. I did
the guy you just destroyed.
No, I did try coffee with mayo, and it was actually pretty good.
Did you what?
So no. I was hating on it at first, but it's good.
What do you mean? When?
After I saw the video of him drinking, and I'm like, oh, like.
I actually again, if you're listening right now, this isn't scripted. This is all unprompted from Jack.
Jack, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was curious. I made myself a little morning coffee on the way to my final the other day. Put a little glob of mayo in there, and it was it was good.
Before your final,
it was good.
So there was a chance you could have just fucking had a stomach ache and. I
did have a stomach ache, but it was after the final, thankfully. So I was good, but it tasted good. I didn't hate it.
How much mayo did you?
Well, half a spoonful.
Because Levis didn't stop squeezing the bottle.
Yeah. Levis put a ton in. I put like a spoonful in. But I didn't hate it.
Yeah, no. Will Levis doesn't have coffee with mayo. He has mayo with coffee.
It tasted like that taste I get from like a turkey sandwich with mayo, and also gave me a kickstart because it was coffee. So it wasn't bad.
So that is what I'd expect. It's coffee with mayo. It's disgusting.
The coffee with mayo tasted a lot like mayonnaise, but with some coffee.
Coffee.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Will you ever do it again?
I was knocking it, and then I tried it.
Will you ever do it again?
I might.
Good God. All right.
He's never doing it again.
I heard it's a hangover cure, too.
All right.
We'll make a pot of coffee for him, and we'll do it on the show.
The Falcons at 8. Yeah, we can do it on the show.
I'm for it.
The Falcons at 8 has been a highly controversial pick after they took Bijan Robinson, stud out of Texas. Here's what I'll say. Just
great running back, atrocious pick.
Here's what I'll say to everyone who's saying it's a horrible pick.
It's a horrible pick.
I grew up watching Adrian Peterson.
He's on Adrian Peterson.
No, listen. I grew up watching Adrian Peterson, and he was the entire Vikings offense.
And how many Petersons have there ever been? One.
Only a few. But if you think that there's a guy that can be similar to Adrian Peterson, one of the greats, and that's what Atlanta thinks with Bijan Robinson.
It's not worth the risk.
They think he's a stud. If you can have someone like that, those running backs make a difference. I know Andrew says that running backs don't matter. When you have a guy like Adrian Peterson or Derrick Henry, a top tier running back, they can make a huge impact on your football team. So I can't fault them if they sat there looking at the draft board saying this guy's special. We want him. It's high, of course it's high, but I'm okay with it. I grew up watching a running back dominate, and he was special. If you think you got something special, go for it.
If you get a semi-decent O-line, put anybody back there and they're fine.
They have a good
fifth round draft pick run.
You don't need to waste the 8th pick.
Last year they had a 5th round draft pick run for 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, so maybe Bijan Robinson can be amazing.
Le'Veon Bell,
but it's not going to be much better.
Look, we do have an O-line. It's full of first-round picks.
I'm saying Bell on the Steelers was great with a great O-line, and bad on the Chiefs and the Jets. DeMarco Murray and the Cowboys, awesome. He stunk everywhere else.
But Atlanta, like their whole offensive line is first-round picks.
I'm saying I don't think. Well, that's even more. That's even more so why we're wasting a pick on a running back. Like there's no point in wasting an eighth row pick on a running back.
Yeah, but
Like,
he,
get a decent
he can
O-line
do
and
so.
then
He can do a
put
lot.
anybody
He's a
back
great
there.
runner. He's a
People
great
say
pass
that.
catcher.
People
It's a
say
useless
great pass
position.
catcher every year, but like, how often do these guys he's not taking over wide receiver? You're better off putting a wide receiver in the backfield.
He doesn't need to
than
be a
running back
receiver.
in the
But
slot.
at the end of the day, you have an inexperienced young quarterback in Desmond Ridder. Having guys like Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson, Bijan Robinson. You have Drake London. Kyle
what
Pitts
does he need
now.
Bijan Robinson for?
It's
He
a
already
mostly
has a great
useless
running game.
Because if Bijan Robinson is the best of those three, if he's a star in the NFL, one, it'll make life easier for Desmond Ridder, and two, you want more guys who are explosive. In the NFL right now, it's about points. Bijan Robinson, it could be a stud.
It's a pointless position.
What?
The Chiefs have Pacheco.
Pacheco's good.
Who
but
did the Super Bowl? Second round, fine. Not an eighth overall.
Seventh.
Yes,
When you have the eighth overall pick in the NFL draft, you aren't looking for a marginal improvement.
That's horrible.
And Bijan Robinson, even
yeah.
if he's really good in terms of what he produces, he will be only a marginal improvement.
what do you mean only a margin?
Is he gonna get 8 yards an attempt?
Look, if he's special, which they think he will be.
If he's special, put up 5.5 or 6 yards a carry instead of 5.
I'm fine with them taking a star running back.
No, look.
The position matters. We can't say running back doesn't matter.
Look at the past Super Bowl winners. Like, who's been a great running back has won a Super Bowl?
Recently?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a wasted position.
Well, you have to think probabilistically here. Can we outfault the Falcons if they look at the board and say he's going to be as good as Adrian Peterson? Yeah, because that's irrational. It is unlikely he's going to turn into an all-time great running back. And if what he is, like an above average but realistic projection for him is like borderline Pro Bowler, maybe Pro Bowler.
I mean, yeah, sure, but during the draft process,
he's not going to be
he might
much
be the best
better.
weapon in the draft.
But it doesn't. What does best weapon mean? People say this every draft.
Okay,
He's a running back.
Running backs, receivers, and tight ends.
You can get get a decent O line and put anybody back there.
If I think that I can get an Adrian Peterson level running back, I
then
am going to take
irrational.
No, it's not.
No, I might be irrational. Sure. It could. You can say it's a little irrational
as a top
because
10
it
pick.
is.
You can say that it's. I understand where you're coming from when you say that the thought of putting that much hype and that those expectations on a player is irrational. But if you do all your due diligence, you watch the tape, and you believe that this guy's a stud, you have to take him.
Anybody can play running back.
Who would you have taken? Carter? Like what would you have done at that pick? Would you have taken Gonzalez, the corner?
I think it was
Wilson still there at the time? I think Wilson was gone.
Anybody running back. I think it's a worthless pick at number 8. That's crazy to me.
They have a big defense.
They have a ton of needs on defense. But they've been revamping their secondary. They got Bates today. They signed Trey Flowers. Who again? We'll see what Trey Flowers does. Yeah, but
he was on the Dolphins.
But Bates, Bates was a big signing. Calais Campbell, I think that came in. Calais Campbell.
You said the Falcons O line is all first round picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
I don't know if that's true. Is that true?
It was true as of at least 2 years ago.
Okay, so taking Bijan is so ridiculous because anybody can run for 5 yards of carry behind that line. As at number 8 overall, you're taking
and we literally saw just some guy run for 5 yards of carry behind that line.
Lunacy. Absolute lunacy.
But look, maybe he turns into Adrian Peterson.
Do you think Christian McCaffrey's a difference maker?
No.
Do you think Derrick Henry's a difference maker?
No.
Like
they're not nearly the level of difference maker that like an elite receiver or edge rusher.
I don't know.
Is. They're not nearly the level of difference maker an elite quarterback is.
Well, quarterback, sure, but what do you want him to do? Take Levis at 8?
You can trade up for a quarterback, or you can trade down.
Who would you have taken at 8?
Where was Henry drafted? 5, 4?
No, I don't know where Henry was.
Derrick Henry?
Yeah,
I thought
he was taken in the second round.
Oh, because that's my point. Then, though, fine.
Yeah, but if you put if you put Derrick Henry and knowing what he is in this draft, where would you take him?
If somebody is there in the second round running back, fine. Number 8 is insane.
I know
you never know who he is though.
No,
he's just as likely to be Trent Richardson.
We're diving into hypotheticals. We're diving into hypotheticals here.
Henry was a second round pick.
If you knew what Derrick Henry was going to be, where do you think he'd go in the draft?
You can't ask me that.
No, I'm just curious.
You can't ask me that at all. You can't ask me that.
They think he's going to be great.
But that's irrational.
It's not worth the number 8 overall.
But if they think he's going to be great and they don't see other defensive players as being on that level,
that's why they stink.
Why would
they're probably wrong?
That's why they stink. That's why
they are probably. If that is how you think about it, right? The fact is,
who else do you want them to take?
That's why they stink.
take the guy who you think is a 40% chance of being a good edge rusher instead of a 70% chance of being a good running back.
Take a great defender.
Wait, who are you talking about, Ziggy?
Look, if you're talking Lucas Van Ness is a better
I'm not
thing.
taking Lucas Van Ness. Give
Why
me
not?
Bijan over Lucas Van Ness.
You have a
That's
back who's averaging
irrational.
5 yards a carry already.
Yeah, just
why not
give
take a
more
wide receiver?
weapons.
Why not
If
take a wide
Bijan is
receiver?
great, it works out.
Yeah, but take a wide
You
receiver.
can't think about things like that.
I
Well,
think
you know,
can.
if Jackson Smith and Jigba is Justin Jefferson, then they should have taken Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like,
Yeah,
what does
I'm
that
sure
mean?
if they thought
No,
Jackson
you-
Smith and Jigba was Justin Jefferson, they would have taken him.
You
Number
evaluate
8
the process,
is
and the
insane.
process is not good.
Number 8 is
That's
insane.
obvious.
Yeah, all right. I guess we're just at a fundamental disagreement here. I'm saying
Well,
if the scouting department values him that highly,
The
They
scouting
have to take
department
him.
is probably wrong.
That's what the
The
Falcons
best
are.
scouts in
That's
the
why the
NFL
Falcons
are
a terrible
terrible
team.
team.
it's all a game of ifs and buts here.
Look, the best scouts in the NFL, the absolute best, are wrong 50 or 60% of the time. Your scouting department's job is to give you a general idea of what's going on. And then you have the nerds like me come in and tell you what you should actually do because we follow the data. And like the Falcons aren't. So it's fine, right? Like they can live in
That's where they
fantasy
stink.
land
Take your
and
back
be like,
ready to
yeah, you
roll.
know, we're going to take Bijan because he's a weapon, whatever that means. He's the best
Yeah, he
pass
is a
catcher in
weapon.
the draft, whatever that means. Like, no, at least they're not the Lions.
Le'Veon
But
Bell's
that's
a
about all
fourth
they
round
have
pick.
going for him.
Le'Veon Bell's a second round pick. Behind a decent O-line, he was great.
I am defending again.
Number 8 is
If I were in the Atlanta war room, I don't know I don't know if I would take in Bijan, but I understand if you value him.
Yeah, but so if you were in the Atlanta war room, don't you think you could have traded back and Bijan still be there and probably
No.
get extra picks?
Because Gibbs went off the board at 12. These teams are ridiculous.
Well, actually, this is actually a pretty good transition right here, and
that's one of the worst picks in the history of the league.
Yes. So the next topic we have was the Detroit Lions draft. You know they had Gibbs as the number 6 overall prospect. He was the highest rated prospect for them when they were on the clock at 6.
What does
Before
that
trading back.
mean? I don't know what that means. He's the number 6 prospect.
What they viewed was
What do you
their
mean?
number 6
On their big board,
They had him as number
he
6.
was the highest
Yeah.
rated player remaining. Sure,
Then-
I don't know if he was 6.
Then they don't know
exactly.
how to build a big
So
board.
they took a-
Sure.
This is why Atlanta and the Lions have been atrocious forever. Because one's taking a running back number 8 and one's taking back number 12. It's a stupid, worthless position. First round, that's why they stink. And they'll never be good. The Falcons and the Lions, there, boom. No, it's no mystery.
I think
Who's taking running backs in the first round?
Detroit made a big mistake not taking Jalen Carter at 6 in my eyes. A lot of people are saying right now about the Lions, the players they got are really good. It's the place they got them at is the issue. And that's why I would say that they're, I don't want to say a loser of the draft because they got good players, but they probably made the worst decisions. Is that fair?
I said it on Twitter earlier this week. I'll say it again. The point of the draft is not to get good players. The point of the draft is to win a championship. And you don't win a championship by taking good running backs and good linebackers early.
So
No
you
team
agree,
in the
wait,
past.
wait, do we all agree that at 6, Detroit should have taken Jalen Carter?
No, I was fine with the trade back.
Okay.
I thought the trade back was actually really good. You trade back, you're getting what in exchange for moving 6 to 12. They got what? Like a second round pick, I think. I think that's what they got.
I'm not sure
trading
what they
back.
wound up getting in that trade.
They traded back and got quite a bit of draft capital. But I guess I can just pull it up here.
Yeah, I thought if you had put
But sure, they moved down to 12 and in exchange got 34. So I thought that was a great trade back. Excellent decision.
You love trading back though.
You should love trading back. When teams are willing to vastly overpay you to trade up, yeah, trade back every time.
I just thought their biggest need was defensive tackle. You had arguably the best player in the draft just sitting there.
maybe the best player.
you know who traded back. We'll get to that in a minute. But I thought it would have been fantastic to put Hutchinson alongside Jalen Carter on that line.
Oh, that'd be scary. That'd be scary.
Oh, so we're willing to trust the scouts when they say Bijan Robinson's really good. When they say Jalen Carter's maybe not as good as we think. Now the Lions are making a mistake.
Well, I just think you can waste the potential, but I think it's worth the defensive player as opposed to a running back. Like anybody can be running back. They're in the 7th round. Good running backs.
I just mean shoot, like trade down to 12, take Broderick Jones, take Lucas Van Ness, take Will McDonald, take Christian Gonzalez. There's lots of guys there. Pick up 34, like you're doing pretty good for yourself.
Yeah, no. I'm not.
problem with that,
I don't
yeah.
have a huge issue with the trade back. I would have taken
neither.
Carter there. when they took Gibbs, I was stunned.
Yeah. For me, it was more of a Gibbs.
I guess given my argument for Bijan, I have to say, like, if he was that high on your board, go for it. But this one felt a little more more irrational.
Gibbs was great.
He's really good. He's a home run hitter.
If you like Bijan,
part of my philosophy in the draft, and this is probably why I'm not a general manager, is that I think when the scouting department falls in love with someone, like, you take your swings. If they think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a huge difference maker next year, a home run hitter.
And that's why the Falcons and the Lions are two atrocious teams.
6 overall in this draft. That's a really, really good. Like, if he's the highest player on the big board at 6, he's an amazing player in their eyes. Did you see them in the war room reacting after they drafted him? It looked like they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it did.
So if you have that sort of reaction, I'm fine drafting him. He's an exciting prospect. Sure. Do I disagree with the pick? A little bit. But if they love him that much, I'm not going to knock him. There's a lot of things going well in Detroit at the moment.
He became the new Swift after Swift went to Philly.
Yeah, it did make sense that I was looking at that going, wow, their running back room.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what, you Swift, Montgomery, why Gibbs now?
Yeah. Was that what was Swift's contract? He's about to get a new contract?
He's got 1 year left on his rookie deal.
But all right then, there you go. Real quick on Detroit, I loved Brian Branch and the Hendon Hooker picks. I thought those were really good.
Oh, I mean that's the best quarterback in the draft.
I don't want to call them a loser at all in the draft. I questioned them, but Branch and Hooker in the second and third round were just awesome to me. I thought they did a great job.
Goff is always a guy who
you never know.
You never know.
People are gassing him up right now, but
don't tell the Lions fans this. They keep saying he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
He's in the NFL or the NFC?
In the NFL.
That's absurd. But look, Detroit right now, it's a fun time to be a fan of them for the first time in forever. And they're doing things right. I like Campbell. Yeah. I like the way that franchise is moving for the first time really ever.
They should be good. I like the Hooker pick because the Goff can have a streak where it's like, oh, this guy's been real bad.
Hooker in the
4
first
games
round.
In a row now.
If anyone took Hooker in the first round, I'd say risky, probably a bad pick.
I agree. But
in the third round, though, it's kind of like Levis a little bit. You're throwing darts. Go for it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it at all.
Yeah, and again, the Branch might have been their best pick of the whole night.
I mean, if the whole draft, if the Eagles took Hooker, it's like, what the hell are you doing? But the Lions.
All right. I know people said the Eagles. What the hell are they doing when they took
Hurts?
Yeah,
I was one. of them.
Yeah, when they took Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah. So I'm just like, look, taking those quarterbacks in like the second and third round, even if you already got a starter you like, it can work out. Teams should be taking more quarterbacks. This is my philosophy.
Yeah, you would take a quarterback with every pick until you nail one.
Look, we know if you don't have an elite quarterback in the NFL, your life's a lot harder. When you do have an elite quarterback, it's life on easy street. Give me life on easy street. That's where I want to live. I don't want to live on Hard Knocks Road.
Oh, all right, you guys. Are we good to wrap this one?
Yeah, let's draft.
Or we got to. Yeah, don't we have a draft?
You're drafting off air.
Yeah, we could do the draft. I just gotta be a little quick. It's gotta be.
Okay. Let's do it quick.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we could do it.
No, what are we drafting today, Paul?
All right, I have orange things as the topic.
Oh, free money.
Things that are orange. Who would like the first pick?
I'll take my pubes, number 1.
Oh my God. Who would like the first pick in this draft?
All the first pick.
All right. Okay. So we'll go Jack, Ziggy, Paul.
Are we keeping this on air? Because Jack just straight up said that in the recording.
Yeah, that's
not that bad.
We've had worse.
Look, you can talk about hair. There are grosser things we've talked about on this show.
All right, go ahead, Jack. You can lead this off here. The first pick in the orange draft.
Yeah, I'm going to take an orange. I feel like I just have to take an orange with the first.
I think that's a winner. I think you might win the draft just on that alone.
I got to go with the orange.
I think orange is way overrated among orange things.
It's named after.
It just has to be the
color.
It has to be the number 1 pick.
You know what I want? Give me sunset.
He just lost the draft.
You're on the beach, beautiful orange sunset.
But sunset can be purple or it can be pink.
But there are orange sunsets. Give me an orange sunset.
All right, an orange sunset. Those are nice. I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm taking a look here at some things that are orange.
You get back to back.
Just go for it, Paul. Just go for it.
There's many different things.
Don't consult the list.
Well, I mean, I have to look at the list here. I'm going to go with the first pick. I'll take a basketball. I think a basketball, my favorite sport to play.
Yeah.
Basketball's a good pick.
Played yesterday.
Yeah, played yesterday. Lost, unfortunately.
Sorry, we'll bounce back.
And then I'm going to, I like this one here. I'm going to go with a tiger. Tiger's one of my favorite animals and just awesome. They're awesome animals.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Would we consider peanut butter orange?
Well, no.
No, it's brown.
Who considers peanut butter orange?
Okay, look. I don't know. It looks kind of orange to me. I don't know what you want. All right. Give me campfire.
I like fire. I think that's a cool pick. Fire's awesome.
Yeah,
I feel like so far we're all kind of liking each other.
Fire gives
next,
dawn to human civilization, keeps us warm, lets us cook things. If you ever had like a delicious meal, it was probably cooked using fire.
No, fire's great, but also dangerous, destructive.
Good. Yeah.
This is going to be a horrible pick
arson,
for Jack
burn the city. Okay, Jack, what do we got?
Oh, taking a fox. Because I went to Maris, and the red foxes.
Okay. The red foxes.
Foxes are orange.
Foxes are red.
No, they're orange.
They're orange foxes. There are orange
I looked up.
Sure.
I looked up orange things online, and a fox.
Sure. You say Maris, the red foxes.
Well, fox. Fox.
I think it's a very questionable orange animal.
I'll show you.
Foxes are
I'll show you a fox right now.
You have to exclude all red foxes.
They
you
look.
can have orange foxes if you want.
That's orange. That's 1,000% orange.
Yeah, but it's still called a red fox.
Okay. So.
No, it doesn't matter what it's called. It matters what color.
What color? Sure. I think that taints it a little bit.
I don't know why they're called the red foxes.
I think it taints it a little bit.
No, Paul, this is an acceptable pick. It's up to Zach if he wants to let it taint.
Yeah, what do you think, Zach? 100%, right?
I think orange foxes are orange.
Oh, look, I didn't make the call.
Sure, they're orange, but they're called red. I think that just detracts a little bit from
I didn't make the call on why they're called
the
the red foxes. I think that's stupid, but a fox is orange.
Okay.
But
all right.
I went to Maris.
The fox.
And then I'm taking a pumpkin.
That's a great pick. I think that's a phenomenal pick. All right, so
I got an absolute steal here.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
Give me Garfield.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great
Just
pick.
straight up Garfield. Elite.
All right, I am. So who was your second pick, Ziggy? I'm sorry.
Fire.
That's right. And I have basketball and Tigers. Okay, I am between two right here. And I'm pretty confident. I do like Nemo. I think he's
orange and white though.
He's good.
We'll see with the fox.
I'm going to go with goldfish. Great snack. Snack that smiles back. Goldfish. That's my last pick.
I don't know if it's top 9, but it's an all right pick.
I mean, like you take like orange soda, like I think that's good. Nemo could have been a pick right there, but I'm going to go with goldfish. All right, so here we go, Zach. We got Jack with oranges, foxes, and pumpkins.
I mean, that's a winner.
Ziggy with sunsets, orange sunsets, fire, and Garfield. And me with basketballs, tigers, and goldfish. I will just say, two of the things you guys took, I'm not really sure how orange they are.
You don't know how orange a fox is.
I think it's orange, but it's called the red fox.
Have you never seen an orange sunset, Paul?
No, I have, but I've seen a purple, a pink.
What are the 3 colors on this flag? Red, white, and blue, right?
Yes, but
now what color is a fox?
If I tell you to draw a fox, what color are you?
I'm taking an orange colored pencil.
I'm taking a red.
I've seen oranges that aren't orange.
What color are you taking? If you're drawing a fox, are you pulling out a red crayon or an orange crayon?
Zach's not colorblind like you.
Oh,
orange.
Wait, Paul, you colored foxes red?
If
I'm drawing a fox, I color them red.
Yeah, you're colorblind.
Okay, yeah, no, Zach, just settle this.
Zach,
I want to be done
Zach,
with this crap. I don't
put Paul on last by default.
Oh wait, yeah, why don't you go with third? Or
third first?
But actually, no, we'll do winner. All right, ready?
Winner first.
Do third first.
This is Jack.
I mean, easy
Easy win.
Orange.
Yeah, you were definitely maybe second. Ziggy with the sunset really threw me off.
Oh, Garfield, come on.
Did Nemo do anything for you or no?
No, goldfish.
I thought goldfish was better than Nemo.
Goldfish was good.
All right.
Question. All right. Well, there you go. Thanks for listening.
Hold on. There are non-orange goldfish.
Yeah, but
goldfish are known.
Yeah, that's like saying but
they're called the red foxes.
Well, first of all, go with your sunset thing. If we say that the sunset's different colors too.
I'm saying that. Yeah, what I'm saying is that the criteria is not being applied neutrally.
Guys, I blew you both. I blew you out.
Pumpkin was a great pick.
All right, I gotta use the.
Yeah, goldfish there's different color goldfish.
Yeah, but they're known for.
So get out of here.
They're
that's the end of the episode.
Goldfish are
That's
orange.
the end of the episode. You're hypocritical.
Should pumpkin
that's why you're
should have
coming
been
in
taken
last.
over tiger?
No.
Yeah. I got a steal in the third round.
No, Pumpkin was a great pick.
No, not over Tiger, probably. No, Tiger was good pick.
All right.
Oh,
all right, there we go.
Did the Heat one?
The Heat one.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. We'll do, again, our schedule breakdowns, predictions. Predictions, better word, on the Paul Farrington Show. See you next time.